Well, well, well. How the turntables.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone of all ages. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you something right now. You're going to get your money's worth tonight on this show. Because if you guys saw my channel, I had a hate week come out against the Denver Broncos, or I like to call them the Denver Bronies. But tonight, it's a bonus hate week, ladies and gentlemen. This is a full-fledged hate week. And it's a very special one. It's in regards to two people that absolutely have gotten on the irks of every single member in the network, who have caused the original network to disappear, and people who have literally threatened to kill someone, just like in this picture you have here. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get your money's worth tonight, because tonight it's the absolute end to this saga that you guys have dealt with for many years. This is the end of the saga. Because let me just tell you guys this. This is just the tip of the iceberg for what happened, and it's what's going to happen tonight. So let me go ahead and close out that, because I got a lot more to say. Just to preview, guys, before we go ahead to the meat of the topic. Tiffany and Benjamin Mason, thank you all for tuning in so far, and thank you to all the rest of the viewers. Folks, let me just tell you guys this. These two have got to be the most butthurt snowflakes I have ever seen in my life. They literally are people that literally try to start shit without even, literally, most of us have moved on. And after tonight, they will no longer be mentioned on my channel, because I am done with both of them. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Samuel. How you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in. Tonight, folks, this is a hate week, a presidential hate week, a hate week that these two love to support, a man who loves to sniff 10-year-old Asian girls' hair. Don't believe me? Let me show you. This is the person that these two morons, these snowflakes, support. Look at this. These girls are literally 10 and 11 years old. Do you really think that this is someone that they realistically want to support? Folks, there's so much to talk about here, and I got a lot to say, so I'm just going to start off with the big thing as well. I'm going to start off with the big thing for him as well. I'm going to start off with the first thing, which is going to be the fact that they claimed that I personally attacked them on my account, and I had a fake account. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to show you that is complete bullshit. I'm going to introduce you to one of my longest subscribed YouTube channels. Someone who has been on my who has literally supported me since 2010. Since my first big hit, the American Dad Morning Jacket song. And I will go ahead and pull up the images. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to go ahead and find the first part of this. Give me a second here. All right, here we go. Okay, I got the first part of it. So let me go ahead and I will share the screen. So John Berzins and Jacob Herschel Vornikoff. Let me just tell you something. This is a person I know is one of my subscribers. You guys can follow his Twitter account, because we'll show more of him later on in the show. And he's been a long-time subscriber. This is not his real name technically. It's just his Twitter name. He wants to keep his personal information a secret, and I only know his real name. So I told him I will not be using I will not be using your information. I will just be using a conversation. This is a message between me and him, and this is a message he finally was able to send to me in a while. We talked on Facebook for a while, then his Facebook got hacked, and now he's finally able to message me on Twitter after finding my Twitter. So let's go ahead and read off part of this. So Jacob and John, this isn't really me, by the way. So here we go. I want to thank you to having those videos on Jacob. I tried to go after him personally, but he thought I was you for some reason, even though I told you before that was my personal info. I keep a secret. I don't know if I told you this before, but I know people who are asexual, and I myself have had asexual moments in my life. But how Jacob acts, it's not how an asexual should act. Even when I showed my friends this, they were appalled and disgusted. See ya, folks. I'm not really going to talk more about him personally because he's just told me this is stuff for I'm keeping private, but this is some screenshots I'm sharing with you guys because he's not me. And we're both completely different people, but we both come together to talk about this low-life scumbag, Jacob. This is because him was going, John Burzins was really going at it. So here's the next part of it. I really hope you do another video on this part of this low life, and you can use these messages if you want to prove we are different. I'm going to continue to be a fan of yours no matter what. And ever since that American Dad video, you have been a really huge inspiration to reach out to others. Go Rebels, which he's a big college fan, so more than happy to accept the request. And I respond back to him, and then he goes, "You're welcome, man. I just wish people like Beta, John, and Jacob would really understand how awful they are." Because, folks, what they've said, especially John, because I'm going to go after John first. Because if you guys do not know, me and John have gone after each other before. And this was on the old network. So he has refused to let the situation die out. Even though I tried to move on, he wanted to instigate me again. So we'll go after him tonight. And he'll be the first one. So I'm going to go ahead and just fast forward through some of the pictures. And here's the last little bit of our conversation here. So let me go ahead and I'm sorry. Yeah, for some reason, some comments on YouTube don't show up right away, so you just give me a little bit of time to read it. So I reply back to him there, and you can see my reply. And here's his big reply. So, that my buddy, I was going to ask him the Letterbox account. This was a funny situation because I don't know if you guys knew this, but the Letterbox account, Jaigroom Shatemer 3, that was going after Jacob's Letterbox account, it was his friend, so... Yeah, so he was just telling me mainly that he told me about he's asexual in his area. They can't stand the LGBT community, so he felt horrible about himself. But thanks to me and the friends you know in the LGBT community, he has felt so much better and now wants you to do what it takes to help expose Jacob. And I'm more than happy to oblige to him. So that was part of our conversation real quick, and I will go ahead and get into the fact that he's completely owned John Burzins. So let me go ahead and I'll show you a couple of pictures here. So give me a second here. Actually, let me stop sharing the screen for a second. Let me find the right one I want to start off with. So just give me 1 moment here. I'll go ahead and find the right one. Give me 1 second here. And that's exactly what Jacob was talking about. And that is the meaning for the Senate. 1 second here. I'm going to find the first. Let me see if I can find the first part of it. It's one of the within my Senate, but it was that whole. What I'm saying is, I don't think it should not go without that justice getting from the spot. I don't think anybody can deny that. But this was asking questions on many fronts. I'm not going to go too much into this because most of it's just more political stuff. I really do not want to talk about the political stuff, unfortunately. So give me a second and I'll find what I really want to start off with. It may take me a bit. So give me 1 second here. I'm just going to see if I can find it. If it's in the... Okay. Okay, I found what I wanted to go to. So... So the president went re-election because obviously it's his nominee. If the nominee is confirmed before the election, let me just find it and then put it in here. All right. Okay, let me go ahead and I'll pull up my screen and we'll go ahead Thank you, man. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate it, man. So let's go ahead and pull up the first photo. And this is the point where he thinks that he's talking to me. It's not really me. So let's go ahead and read what he says. So he's going after John because my friend here is a big Trump supporter, which I am too. But the thing is, though, he's been attacked by people that literally try and just go after him because of his beliefs, which is sad because he has friends, and I know I have friends too in the LGBT community. And these two morons think that they're part of this community. They're not. So I'm just going to go after this right now. So here we go. Typical QAnon insult talk. Trump and his dad were suing for house discrimination, followed by the Central Park 5 controversy. And you can see the rest of the tweet here. And none of this shit is true. Let me just tell you guys this. None of this stuff that's happened to him is true at all. And he's exposed him. He exposed John on so many lies before, it's not even funny. So I'm just going to go after, I'm going to read his replies. You guys can read the tweets because they're pretty broken English, and I really do not want to read them. So I'm going to read his replies. So here he goes. Where do you base your facts from? The Babylon Bee and the Onion? I love that joke. That's a great freaking joke right there. If you guys don't know the Babylon Bee and Onion, they're fake news sources. So they're literally satire stuff. So you clearly don't hear from Epstein because none of it's true. And he may have known Epstein, but when he found out what Epstein did, he kicked him out the fuck. I was like, get your facts straight. I think this is something funny that they try and do. They try and post bullshit articles and try and post little crap. But my buddy just completely owned him. Every sense of the word. And his sources are absolutely garbage. So here you go. So here's another one. He's saying, how is Trump with this kid who looks petrified? Number one, that's not even close to a he's so stupid. This is one picture, and that kid is like, you know what? It's probably because of the media. So here you go. He calls him, this is my fair line here, beta. It's true because he is. Look, I'll even show his picture again. Hold on. If I could zoom in on his picture. Let me see if I could zoom in on the picture real quick. Give me a second here. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Hold on. I'm going to zoom in. Look at this dude. Look at him in the right corner. He literally looks like a freaking fat lemur. It's not even funny. He looks like a fat lemur, yet he can call me out and everyone else on this stuff. And don't worry, he gets to say really worse stuff later on. So let's go ahead and continue on to the next thing. So he pretty much been, and fun fact, my friend actually knows a lot about U.S. history. And he's been studying U.S. history a lot more than I have. If you want to talk more about him, he has a really good knowledge of U.S. history, especially political history. So yeah, literally, that's the last one, so I'm going to continue that. So here we go. Here's another one. How about these creepy comments and photos regarding? Yeah, that none of this is true. Literally, he says he can go on for a very long time about the stuff he says. Dude, this guy literally has no clue what he's doing. And he owns him again. Literally, he says, think of all is true. You are such a litard beta, it's not even funny. At least Trump has never said anything. And if you pull up, this is stuff where Biden's had connections with a grand organizer of the KKK, which, if you guys don't know what a grand organizer is, they're one of the top guys of the KKK. And Biden was with him. He has very good ties. Another picture was when showing the Trump and Jeffrey Epstein conditions compared to Bill and Clinton. And then this pic. I'm going to zoom in on this pic. Look at this shit. Look at this fucking shit. I'm going to show you guys this. Look at this right here. That's his 19-year-old granddaughter. 19. He's 78 years old. Don't you think that's a little fucked up? And this is what he supports. He supports a racist, creepy pedophile. Trump is not a pedophile. And yet he's trying to pull this bullshit. And I actually got a fun fact for both of you guys because my friend was actually able to tell me more about this stuff. But I'll tell about that in just a little bit. So let me go ahead and I'll go ahead and zoom out and we'll get to the next one. Oh, yeah. He says the Trump endorsed KK in 2016. That's not even 100% true. Yeah, no, it's true, Kif. Yeah, that's true, Tiffany. He did. And how he treats like young women and women in general, Biden is a fucking pedophile. He's creepy as shit. And how do people support him? He literally is a husk of a person. And this is a fucking lie, because if you look up, the KKK supported Hillary Clinton because Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton have ties to the KKK. Let me just tell you guys that. Once again, he's wrong. And he was also saying there were very fine people among white supremacists in 2017. That's also a complete false statement. And he said that most Mexicans coming to the country are drug dealers, criminals, and rapists. Once again, that's not true. There are a lot of hardworking Mexican people out there. Dude, I know Mexican people that are going to support for Trump this year. One of my friends that I go to church group with is going to support Trump because he's Mexican. Let me just tell you guys that right now. I have Mexican friends that are going to support for Trump and never will show support for Biden. Why? Because Biden is a stupid old man that doesn't know what he's doing. So here we go. Here's another one. So Trump's bad quote to New York Magazine back in 2002. I've known Epstein for 15 years. Terrific guy. Had a lot of fun to begin with. And most of them are young. That, number one, let me just tell you this. The New York Times, and I'll actually pull out another statement. I'll actually pull up because this is I'll actually pull this up because if you guys do not know, the New York Times Magazine, they're known to fabricate the truth and high lies. And yet this is his primary source for information. Along with, he loves to use Vox. Vox, if you guys don't know, another uncredible website. And he even points out Vox is not credible whatsoever. No credibility in the real world. It's run by delusional morons that are so biased it's sad. And he put this out there, and if you guys do not know this, Helmut Norpoth, he is a Stony Brook professor from New York. He predicted 25 of the last 27 elections correctly. And this was his prediction for this upcoming election. This is his upcoming prediction. And folks, it's going to be worse than that, especially when it comes to the actual debates. Trump's going to walk circles around Biden. Moving on. Let's go ahead and... So here you go. That's the last one. I'm going to save that for last. Nope. Okay, so I have a little bit more. Give me a second here. So... here we go. This is where he really accuses me of it. So he recklessly played down the threat of the pandemic. It's on tape. None of that's true because, number one, no one knew how bad this pandemic was going to be. Absolutely no one. And if you compare the United States to other countries, especially Europe, how we've handled the pandemic has absolutely been great compared to other countries. So, and yet he's saying, you have some nerds using sexist labels like soy boy, beta, and cuck when you yourself are hiding behind a fake account. Number one, none of those are sexist terms. They're literally the definitions of people that don't get it and are just completely blind to understand. And he pretty much owns them here. You and Jacob clearly do not have any idea who you're talking to. Lucas has no idea what I'm doing this fuckboy. And you and your social stories have no credibility unless you can actually use sources that aren't based on libtard writers. And if it's not the Wall Street Journal, don't post it. If you guys do not know the Wall Street Journal, extremely credible. That's what I use for news sources too, along with other legible, credible sources. I don't use Vox. I don't use all this stuff. And here's another comment of his. He disrespects the military, calling suckers and losers. Number one, that was written by the Atlantic magazine, and that was proved to be false. A site called the Atlantic, run by the most dumbass libtards I've ever seen out here, and they try to twist Trump's words. Trump never said that, so shut the hell up. And the Atlantic literally lied to get attention. It's true. And yeah, I'll actually point that out. Benjamin, let me highlight that, man. Also prove IDX Fox, they made the worst article I've read and post on Twitter. And then CBC, CTV, and Global speak the truth. They do. They do, because if you want to know my opinion, the left, the media in the United States is some of the worst media I've ever seen in my life. They're all run by the libtards. And Vox, literally, and this is literally his excuse. That's literally his excuse. And you know why that's his excuse is? He's a dumbass that lives in Alameda, California, one of the most liberal areas in all of San Francisco. And yet he tries to do this. And yeah. No, it's okay, Tiffany. You're good. Don't worry. I know where you were trying to get to. So yeah, the Atlantic literally lied to get attention. And everyone called them out that they're not credible. They're also this. Let me also say this. The Atlantic also posted an article saying they should end the Nobel Peace Prize because Trump got nominated twice. Let me repeat that. If you guys do not know, let me repeat this. They wanted to end the Nobel Peace Prize because Trump got nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize twice. And let me tell you guys, it should have been 3 times. Okay, I'll tell you exactly why. The Israel-United Emirates Treaty. First time in over 60 years that's happened. That's one of the biggest agreements in United States history. And in the streets of the United Arab Emirates, they were flying the Israel flag, the United States, and the Emirates flags together. Number 2, the North and South Korea peace treaty. 2 countries that have been at war since the Vietnam War. He was the first president to sit in North Korea, and he got a job done, and he got an agreement done. First time in 69 years. Number 3, and also the most recent one, which was he was getting. Let me go ahead and pull this up. So let me go ahead and I'll pull this stuff up. So that's pretty much, yeah. And you try to use an article like McSweeney's. You know McSweeney's is from a cartoon reference, right? And I'll actually get to this stuff. And he's trying to say this is 6 million cases. He never knew. Number one, no one knew how bad this was going to get. And he did not glorify violence. That's what the left did. Hi there, Cameron. How you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in. And most of the cases, if you guys do not know, most of the cases from COVID were non-fatal. Only 6% of the total deaths in the world were from COVID alone. The 94%, rest of the 94% had underlying causes. So pretty much, cases were fabricated so hospitals can make extra money. And this is a true story. If you want to learn this stuff. How are you guys doing, man? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Yes, and then, oh God, I love that muscle boy bitch shit. Oh yeah, there's some comments on YouTube that are not coming up, but I will show it. But Luke Nukem, I will show this. Hillary Clinton supports Robert Byrd, the Grand Dragon of the KKK. It is 100% true. That is true. If you want to know something, the left party was originally founded by the KKK. Oh yeah, muscle boy bitch, it's another great one. I love that name, by the way. And the most media praised Cuomo, evenly the most deaths. Yeah, New York statistically had the most deaths. Let me go ahead and I'll finish up him owning John Bitch Boy. So I'll go ahead and I'll see if I can find any more. I think, oh, here you go. This is the last one. He literally not providing legitimate websites. Hey, Bomb, how you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in, dude. And then we have, yes. Thank you, A-Bomb. I love that comment. I love it. Thank you. So here he goes. This is where I'll leave it. If Trump is so injured, how you explain the 4,000 lawsuits he's been involved in? And how you explain the fact that associates such as Steve Bannon, Roger Stone, and Paul Morphy and the others. Let that sink in. None of that, 100% of those lawsuits, most of them weren't even real lawsuits. And most have been taken care of. So, John, I'm just going to leave it at this, man. This is just fodder for what you really talk about and how you show your true colors. We'll get into that, by the way, because what he says is disgusting. It literally is disgusting. I'm going to read a couple of comments while I go ahead and pull up the next set of stuff. So give me a second here while I go ahead and read some of the comments here. So Zach says there's any reason why I can't stand Fox News. And I honestly, personally, follow Fox News, but I'm personally more often just looking at my own information. I literally just learned to look at my own information, to be honest. I trust the Wall Street Journal. They're pretty much an unbiased source. I usually go after unbiased sources. And he did. Cuomo lied about the deaths. And yeah, Vox Vox is not a source. And let me see if I can. Okay, yeah, I know a lot of people don't like Tucker Carlson. I'm sorry. Like Tucker Carlson, he's half and half for me, honestly. Richard Spencer, a prominent white supremacist, supported Trump last election, now supports Biden. What does that say about that? Do I watch Star Trek? No, I really don't, man, to be honest. I'm not. Personally, with me and TV, I really don't follow much TV unless it's older shows because I'm trying to get more into older shows, honestly. So let's go ahead and talk about John Berzins. I'm going to go ahead and pull up some information here. So give me a second here. I'm going to find the first thing because it's going to take me a little bit because I want to make sure I find the first. Because I really want to find the juicy stuff first. So yeah, the positive cases, though, Florida is one of the topper states, but the problem is, though, a lot of their cases are just, some of them are ridiculous, too. So go ahead and give me a second. I'm going to find the first piece of information that I could really find. So give me a second here. All right. Okay. Let me go ahead and I'll find what I'm actually looking for. So drink's good, man. Can't complain, Ben. Can't complain, man. I'm just enjoying myself. Had a really good day, to be honest with you. It was a long day, but it was a good day. So, okay. So let me go ahead and find the last. Okay. And not only that, folks. Oh, God. I'm not going to think about that because, number one, China is a moron country. And right now, no one wants to do anything with China because China literally caused the pandemic and no one wants anything to do with it. So, all right. Okay, I found some of the stuff. So we're going to go ahead and start from we're going to start with something recent, and then I'm going to move into something a little bit more into recent times. So go ahead and find the picture I want. Okay, here we go. So John Burns, this was literally a few days ago. And to come to reference, Jerome has nothing to do with any of this. Jerome has given me this information because I really am just been trying to get some information just so I can present this topic. Because if you guys notice also, I'll talk about Jacob in a little while because I really want to get to after John first. Because John is someone more I really just do not despise. Whatever the things he said are disgusting. So here we go. So this is in regards to Brett's tweet, and I'm not condoning anything he says. I'm just using this as evidence. So here we go. I'm also very disappointed in some of his old friends, such as Drummernaut, for explicitly making posts condemning him. Okay, so, and then here he goes. I literally made a serious plea for Jerome to change his ways, and I apologize for making some hasty judgment in a conversation with him. The only damn thing was to scold me, find a way to defend himself, and block me. Both of these things are not true. Number one, we do not associate with what Brett. We do not agree with what Brett said. Number one. Number two, we don't condone waste, and we're not associated with him anymore. So this is literally your delusion to thinking that we're actually involved in. We're not. So here we go. Okay, that's the last one. Let me save that for last. Give me a second here. So Jerome has talking to this guy, and so pretty much the conversation we're going to start off here. This is the conversation pretty much is when he thinks I've been the one that instigated the old network termination. So here we go. Jerome pretty much can talk something about, once again, where are you coming from all this? Well, the last time I remember you and Gary is when I complained about Lucas violating group rules. You two had nothing to say back. Not if it matters since the old network group is dead and those posts were deleted within hours of posting. I know that you don't remember, but you brought political bullshit in the network. And number one, that was a completely different decision, and that's not around anymore. But I pretty much went after him because he said something disgusting on the old network, and I had to go after him. And yet he thinks I'm the wrong person here because what he calls me is absolutely so bad. So, oh yeah, and he tries to contradict himself too because he refuses to side his sword because he doesn't want to listen. And he says Here's you go. Here's another comment that is, not everything you do is bad. You shoot or alienate a lot of people with your personality a lot of the time, as I stated before. I know you blame them for everything you happen, but I don't see the level of hatred that I have from you. And pretty much Jerome has screenshots of everything. That's how he sent me this information. He wants proof. And this is something where it gets really bad. He has screenshots. He shows screenshots. So I will find actually, here you go. Give me a second. Oh, no, that's not what I want yet. Give me a second here. No. We're going to get to that. Okay, yeah. Here was the original reply from me, though, saying I violate group rules. Also, Luke is a dear good friend of many years. That is true. I've known Jerome for years, and yeah, thank you, Dash. I'll highlight that comment in a second once it comes up, but this is how he chooses to address me, folks. Isn't he still an absurd Trump pansy for the most part? He's literally calling me a Trump pansy. If you guys don't know what it's a Trump-loving chimpanzee. Don't you think that's kind of racist to say that? I've been called the N-word. I've been called really bad insults, but he's going to go after me like that? Really? Good Lord. And yet, Jerome pretty much defends me. I don't like ends meet. I'm independent. But no, according to you, I'm a hateful, sick person. Why don't you ask Alex and Gary, many others who are friends with as well? Which he does. I do because I do because I love the fact that he's creating jobs for people. He's helping out the economy. And he is a very trustworthy person. He's making things better for a lot of us. And he's trying to make America a great country. That's one of the reasons why I support him. So he's saying, so John goes, you are because you, oh my God, this scream sucks. You send death threats to people for liking a film. There's no excuse for that. Okay, he tries to go, him and Jacob both try to use this insult where Jerome literally says he hates Happy Madison, fucktards, like the people, like the group that literally have insulted him personally and have made fun of him and tried to literally give death threats to him because he doesn't like the Happy Madison company, which is Adam Sandler's production company. And he tries to excuse. So here he goes with another comment. This is pretty much what Jerome tries to go to. You guys can read that a little bit. So yeah, Billy, I have a lot to say on this, and this is going to take a little bit of time, but it's going to be worth it, trust me, because what he says, especially about people who have kids, is going to disgust you on a visceral level. Good Lord. All right, you guys had enough time to read that. Let me go ahead and go to the next one. Here you go. So Jerome asks him pretty much a very simple question. Where are you coming from? Do you have any idea what I'm saying? Back to the same old Jerome. You once sent death threats to Happy Madison fans. How do you sleep at night? First of all, that's something that's been going on for 30 years. They bullied, harassed, and literally physically harmed me. Extremely personal, especially for them wishing I was dead, and I'm done with films. If you only actually knew before saying it. I have absolutely no problems with that because literally, I don't know if it's that bad, but it's pretty up there, Billy. I really don't watch many news stations. I mainly just focus on American Dad and like other shows. I really don't watch TV too much though. So yeah, literally they've been harassing and torturing Jerome, and yet he's trying to say. All right, no, that's not the one I want. Give me a second here. Here's a funny comment. Here's a funny comment that this libtard tries to use. Hopefully you can grow up one day. I have. Maybe you should because you're full of shit. And he goes after him first because literally these two people, they don't know how to grow up. They're 25 years old. John's 21 and Jacob's 25. They're both obsessing over grown men. So let me just put that in perspective for you. Why would 21 and 25-year-old adult, why would two guys, 25 and 21, obsess over grown men older than them? Please explain that to me, folks, because I would love to hear. Oh, he definitely is, Cameron. He's definitely an idiot. I will definitely tell you. No, it is meant to be taken it's meant to be taken figurative, but Jerome's still gotten this stuff. And John literally tries to pretty much makes it. Give me a second here. Oh, here we go. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Death threats or direct threats, I don't care if they were said directly. And this is in regards to the Happy Madison situation. It is a personal matter. They made a life a living hell, which happened to Jerome. But you generalize it to include all Happy Madison fans in your statement. Oh, yeah, no, Jerome pretty much is just trying to go out because Jerome, number one, it's not true. He didn't go after all Happy Madison fans. So let me go ahead and find the next one. There's a couple more replies. Give me a second here. Let me find the right piece I want. Here's another good comment. This is how demented he really thinks he is. So this tweet, however, Jerome is going after him because Jerome did delete his Twitter, which I don't know. I really don't use Twitter anymore because Twitter's pretty toxic in general. They still use Twitter, and his Twitter is literally full of just absolute libtard bullshit. So I really am not going to show you here. But yeah, I suspect you want to follow my Facebook profile long. But if you want to sit back and live in a little bubble and pretend that everything is okay, then that's your prerogative. Jerome does not live in a bubble. He has many friends, more than you two will ever have, and he's gained a massive following, more than you two will ever have. Let me just tell you their social media profiles, because I'll tell you that. Actually, give me if my computer would work. Okay, give me a second. Okay, there you go. Okay, good. So let me go back to see if I can find Let me see if I can find a picture of their Twitter. I don't know why my mouse pad isn't working, but okay. So let me see if I can find the picture of their Twitter. So this is his Twitter handle. If you go to his Twitter, he has only 40. He has 40 people he follows, all libtards, and he only has 9 followers. Jacob only has 29 followers, and yet they're trying to go after people like me and Jerome, saying we don't have a following, we don't have a people that adore us, we don't have true friends. Fuck you, dude. So and he's trying to go after saying people that we don't have following. So he wants nothing to do with us, but yet he's talking to people that are part of a group. And these are all friends that Jerome still talks to. And based on what you've seen, there's a few. Ryan, Nick, Jackson, name a few. Pretty much, they're people that Jerome has made personal connections with and has made peace agreements with. So John's trying to say, they're obviously sick of your horseship, and more people in your circle can sneak up instead of being complicit, which is ridiculous because he literally just trying to say, oh, there are people that want to say something, but they're not going to because they're blind sheep. How do you fuck yourself, dude? I'm going to find another comment for the Happy Madison fucktard shit. So Jerome is trying to figure out who made these tweets because Jerome literally says, did you not read this before? He literally got bullied, harassed, and insulted personally. And unlike Jacob, literally said Brett was going to kill him, which is 100% true. I showed that in the very beginning of the video. So putting your video on Paul Martin Mall Call 2, you said anyone likes this film equal to terrorism. That's not true, number one. If you have actual beef with some of the Happy Madison fans, that's one thing, but don't generalize. That's not true. He does generalize. And he's trying to say Brett photoshopped and everything, which is ridiculous. That's not true at all. And Jerome's providing evidence, which you guys can see right here. That's ahead in evidence. So he's literally saying that pretty much saying that Jerome has not have any influence because we did remove him from our lives and we're not talking to him. So this is proof. I'll just keep that there. So, he tries to apologize. This is just great. He said he wants to apologize. And this is June 3rd, 2020. Look, I apologize for any hasty judgment I may have had. I really felt like garbage for the past few days myself. He's trying to pander. He's trying to make up lies. But I must say the fact that you essentially chose to stay silent in your profile about this ongoing unrest, which personally I didn't go over. I didn't talk about my channel because I didn't want to. And the thing is, we did not want to talk about this stuff because this is just ridiculous. And he's trying to say that just because we're silent on the matters that did happen, this was after the George Floyd incident. Just because we're staying on silent about this means we're the problem. Fuck off, dude. He says the must say that the use of socially say silent on your profile about the ongoing arrest is unforgivable. You could be using your platform to speak up on police tyranny. There's just bullshit. Racial injustice, which is bullshit. But instead, you seem more interested in making posts that seem quite hateful and decisive that we do not need, especially in times like these. How do you think that makes you look? I cannot forgive you, but this is not late to make a change. Let me just tell you guys something. Just because we don't post something on Facebook about relevant topics doesn't mean we're concerned about and we're talking about on our own. I choose not to post certain things on my Facebook profile. I choose to say it in video form, and I chose to talk about it with you guys because I'd rather say that stuff that way. And I really do not want to I do not want other people seeing Facebook posts. YouTube, I keep completely separate out of my personal life. So, yeah, he literally is calling him out as bullshit. He's making assumptions. So, Jerome pretty much calls him out on it, but he still tries to continue. And folks, let me go ahead and I'll put in the next things because give me a second here. I'll pull up the big juicy things about John. Because folks, what you're going to see with John, what he says, it's unbelievable. So here we go. This is the last political thing we're going to talk about. So, well, what are one of his best friends the longest time was Shane on the alt-right Haitian. Number one, I'm not part of the alt-right. That's stupid. And I'll go ahead and check out some of the comments. Okay. His politics embody someone who truly is. Same could be your other friend. And yeah, he's trying to say we associate with Brad when we agree with his politics. That's not true. And John pretty much tries to spin it the other way, which is bullshit. So I'm pretty much almost done with this little libtard, but this is the problem. He just goes, yeah, that was before the ruler was placed, but he was being a total dickwad showing his political views in the network. I never did that. I just replied to your topic, and you continue to do it. So if someone's going to be personal about not feeling well down, they have our support. We have nothing but love and support for each other. That is 100% true. And Gary made a post about the current circumstance with Brett, who was a longtime member. We personally removed him and banned from the group, which we did. And he's never been spoken with, which we did. So let me go ahead and I'll find the big parts here. Oh, he also calls the fact that we attacked this person a little while back, Christian McKnight, who literally called Jerome the N-word. We got rid of him. We attacked him. So pretty much he's trying to go after saying we can't set up our own views. And Jerome goes, standing up for myself and others who are affected by certain number matters is vindictive, like Christian McKnight, who may have mutual friends in you I knew you were affected by. An insane neo-Nazi, I'm not defending him. That's not true. You definitely defended him. He went after people not looking at him. And I know you were right in the situation, but you're not always right. I can't help but notice that plenty of your old friends who don't even want anything to do with you anymore. Trust me, a lot of the friends that Jerome has are my friends too. We still talk about it. So literally I'm going to find the... Okay, give me 1 second. I'm not going to... Okay, give me a second. Oh yeah, he called me a Trumpian Z. Okay. All right. Okay. I found it. So Jerome is talking to Christian McKnight. I mean, Joe was talking to John about this, about having kids and shit, trying to pretty much expose Jerome, and it's not happening. So Jerome, he's pretty much he tries to use the worst excuse possible, the autistic excuse. And folks, I'm autistic. I will never use that excuse. This is just a fucking cop-out he does. So look what I want you to believe that you are better than what you show. I know you are autistic like me and don't always say or do the right thing. I just wish you were a more level-headed person, not so often selfish and hypocritical. Jerome is none of those things, dude. You are just a pathetic piece of shit. Oh, I'm sorry. That's just the TV. I'm sorry. I'll pull that off. Nothing right now. They were just talking about some things. So, wait, no, that's not the one thing I want to send yet. Okay. Here's the next part of this conversation. And this is a person we knew as Kevin Dumbass as well. So we're going to talk about this. Are you aware Kevin manipulates some of the friends that mine and what they do against me? Everything I'm hearing Kevin say seems right from what I've seen. You seem like a very hateful, sick person. And that's not even close to true. And literally, Jerome is trying to call him out his bullshit. You refuse to hear his side of the story. She did. I refuse to hear your side, yet I'm still talking to you. Yet he's trying to play the blame game. Not 100% true. And let me go ahead and find the next piece. You seem more manipulative than helpful a lot of the time, but you and Gary give me nothing but the cold shoulder. You seem to only like the people who kiss your ass. None of that is fucking true. Jerome is a big fan and he supports everyone in the network. So none of that shit is true, John. So you are an idiot. You call me a Trump pansy. Once again, I'll show that. Let's get into the last bit of this information. So, okay. So let me see if I can find the first start of it. Okay. Okay, so here you go. He's trying to, before he gets in the bad stuff, he goes, I'm wasting my time. I've only seen terrorists, the Happy Madison fans, terrorists, and say they should be dragged to the streets and thrown off a bridge. None of that is what Romy said is true. And he goes, I don't believe you one bit. If this happened, I would believe you probably started it. None of it's true, and I'm wasting my time talking. You obviously are too much of an egomaniac to admit when you're wrong. None of that's true, dude. So let's go ahead and finish up the last part of the John Bernsen's Libtard saga. So let me go ahead and find about this. So here we go. Give me a second here. Okay. All right, I found the last piece. So here we go. So Jerome, and if you know Jerome, he had a vasectomy and he's not a fan of kids, which is fine by him. So he's literally trying to say that hating kids and abortion is literally the same thing. That's what he said. Jerome goes, abortion, however, is not the same fucking thing. And he goes, anyone who truly hates kids would be pro-choice and not complain about women's reproductive rights. Let me repeat that, folks. Anyone who truly hates kids would be pro-choice and not complain about women's reproductive rights. So you're saying because I'm not a fan of kids, Gary, there are other people who aren't a fan of kids that we should be pro-choice? Fuck you. Get out of here with that bullshit. He's literally trying to compliment him, saying, what are you talking about? I hardly speak of any abortion in the first place. And again, I don't hate kids. I just think it's evil that people still give birth, especially in this day and age. Okay, first off, so you're going to hate the fact that your parents gave birth to you. It's so hypocritical, it's not even funny. And we're just getting to the tip of the iceberg. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get to the next piece of it. So, all right, actually. Okay, actually, no, wait, I'm back. Sorry, I'm way back. Okay, here we go. So Jerome says, this is where it gets really bad. So Jerome says, I don't know where you're coming with all this. And in terms of politics and heavy controversial matters, I hardly speak about it, which he does. Yet you believe I'm lying with Happy Madison what truly happened to me, claiming I started and you don't believe me. What kind of shit is that? Well, I don't think very highly of people who have them. We have too much evil in the world. Maybe you should speak to more about politics and what's important in the world instead of being vindictive. So he's saying that people who have kids, he doesn't very think highly of them. He's trying to mainly say that he doesn't think highly of people who have kids. Dude, I've had many friends who have had kids already. And you're calling them stupid for having kids? What is wrong with you, dude? You are seriously messed up in the fucking head. That makes no fucking sense. So you're going to say you don't think highly of your parents then who gave? What the fuck, dude? Oh my God. All right. Give me a second. Let me go ahead and find the big thing here because there's actually one post that explains why he actually just says what he says. And it's pretty fucked up. Give me a second here. Okay. I'll tap real quick. So I gotta find this because what he says is actually pretty funny. And it's actually pretty bad. So, oh yeah, no, you are definitely more mature. So let me go ahead and find the absolute right thing I want to find because Oh, here we go. This is what I wanted to find. Right here. This is the big one. Before I get into Jacob, this is the last thing we're going to go after John. Let me just find my little charger thing for my laptops, for my tablets. Give me a second here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let me go ahead and I'll share the screen. I'll share the screen with this. Okay, so this is why he brought the argument. So he's saying that he wants to stand up to Kevin and other people. So you also claim to hate kids, but also complain about abortion. How does that make any sense? He doesn't like, Jerome doesn't like kids. However, abortions aren't the same thing. What's the difference? If you hate kids, you should be an anti-nationalist. I am an anti-natalist because I see that is the way, especially now. And if you don't know what an anti-natalist is, it's someone that literally hates kids and doesn't think very highly of people who have kids. So you literally contradict yourself way too much. John, you are a fucking libtard, fat, lemur piece of shit. And good thing you're not going to be able to interrupt me anymore because I'm done with you, dude. I'm fucking done with you. You literally don't think, so you're calling everyone who's had kids. You're calling every parent out there. You don't think highly of them. And you don't even think highly of your own parents. Fuck you, you piece of shit. You're a fucking scumbag. And last but not least, let's get into Jacob Vorenkoff, Herschel Vorenkoff. And Jacob, he gets some very big points here because I'll actually literally post out the first thing. So if you guys do not know, Jacob originally had a movie review for La La Land, which honestly was a movie I liked but Jerome didn't like. And literally, this is all he does on his letterbox. Literally, this is literally his only review of it, his original review. So literally, this is how obsessed Jacob is over Jerome. It is sad. So literally, instead of saying anything about the movie, he says, fuck Jerome Ladler. Seriously, fuck him up his asshole and through his throat. But yeah, he gives it a 5-star rating, not telling about anyone who... Oh yeah, and some people like his own review too. And even people are telling him, Alex, get a life. But yeah, this bitch boy, Kevin, fucked hard, saying fat. Bullshit. Fuck both of you. All right, so we're going to get into the meat and potato things. Here you go. So this was the first thing I led off with. We're going to go back to it. He literally said, you're entitled to your opinion on Trump, but if you try defending blasting John McCain and try and get the government to lower flags out your eye, I'm going to kill you. And this is a reference to me, Brett. So if you thought that John Burns' bullshit was bad, let's get to Jacob, because Jacob, that's the first thing he starts off with. He wants to kill people. And yet he calls everyone sheep. So Jerome commented and goes, Jacob goes, yeah, that's it. Go whine to the sheep you call friends like the spoiled brat you are. So he's calling all the people that we are friends with, me and other people are friends with, sheep for following Jerome. Fuck you, Jacob, you piece of garbage. And he goes and continues. He tries to continue. He says, like I said, there are sheep who go over along whatever you say. Once again, that's not true. You're a fucking moron. Oh, and this is a funny review because Austin's live stream of top 10 worst films of 2010s. And this is how hypocritical it is because we'll get into his comments on my channel, on my video that blew up in just a bit. So he says, I would rather be skinned alive than drenched in boiling hot oil than support anything that Jerome's attached to. I'd rather pay $100 to watch a 5-second video than watch anything he's on for free. Let me just tell you how stupid this is. So leaving a comment on this video and supporting other stuff means you supported him. You literally do not know what you're talking about. You literally supported Jerome just by posting a comment. So once again, you are a hypocrite. Here's another thing. Your screenshots only warp the reality because of the situation, because it make me look like the bad guy, because you're just a vulgar, crass, no good piece of shit jerk who likes to blame out everyone by himself. And your friends are all sheep who literally go along with everything you say. They're not your friends. They're your fans. There he goes. He uses his argument again. The sheep argument. The freaking sheep argument. And it's embarrassing. This is literally like the 5th time he said that in the comments too. And trust me, he gets even more ridiculous with these comments. So I'll go to the next one, shall we? And this is something he said to Austin. Let's go ahead and read what he said to Austin. And I never blame you personally or introduced me to Jerkoff. And he calls Jerome Ladmer Jerkoff Lamer. What a great fucking nickname, you fucking spineless hack. Your review of the apparition led me to subscribe to you, and I eventually got to know you about him afterwards. You were just a stepping stone. Besides, you didn't answer any of my questions. How can you justify him advocating violence against fans of Happy Madison? I don't care if it was just a joke. And I block him, the voice of my outrage towards him after notification of the dozens of people that growing that hate have turned against him and what he did to him. I think more people agree with me than him. Case closed. You are a fucking, you are so delusional. This is a 25-year-old asexual that says he's not obsessed with Jerome. Dude, this is not how asexual people act. Number one, that's not even close to true. I know people are gay, bisexual, lesbian, and asexual. They don't act like this. You're obsessing over a 35-year-old man. You're pathetic, Jacob. You're pathetic. In another situation, this is him and Jacob, him and his butt buddy John, literally just trying to go after Brett's video, and literally he just uses it to actually attack Jerome. So you can go ahead and read your reply here. And this is another one of those comments they tried to bring up earlier. So there you can go. You can go ahead and read it. I'm going to go ahead and move forward because I want to get to the more juicier stuff. So here's another one of the situations was, this is actually, no, I'll get to this. This is a tweet John deleted on my comments, and we'll actually go ahead and look at my comments to the original YouTube video in a second because the video comments are still up. Oh, and this is Jacob's YouTube profile. If you want to go ahead and check out his profile, 29 subscribers. Wow, what a great thing. And it seems the fact that he only has 29 subscribers on Twitter and on YouTube. And Laura, this is his description. Hey, everyone, I need signs for a future person of my Pokemon Go, so sign up now. What? You didn't even provide a sign up link, you fucking dumbass. This is how out of touch and out of reality they are. It's so pathetic. These two are obsessing, like literally, they don't know how to run their social media properly, and they don't know how to just do anything properly. It came in a YouTube video. And Jerome clearly owns Jacob. This is actually the part of the hang, which I'll actually read in a second. Oh, here's his address to me saying, I don't go after letterbox to make the accounts. Number one, I addressed this earlier. That's not me. And it was a friend. And my buddy responded to him. And here you go. This is the response he gave. And I'll let you read because it's absolutely amazing. First off, I'm not going to give you my real name. You don't deserve it. Which he doesn't. This has nothing to do with Lucas. Because I went after you because of how much of a scumbag you are. I knew Tiffany and what you said to her. And I had to tell you how awful you are and a disgrace to the social community. Yep, he is, folks. What's up, James? How you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in, dude. Oh, yeah, don't worry. I'll get to the Mia stuff in a little bit. Oh, and here's another situation because Jacob literally tried to apologize to Jerome about the stuff he meant and when he was originally saying stuff. So this is what he says. Jacob, don't bring me that because I have nothing to do. And Jerome tried to stay with the situation, but yet Jacob tried to bring back. I take my apology back. I wish I've never found Austin's review of the apparition. I wish I never became a fan of this. So I've never gotten involved with the biggest bully of a movie review on the internet. Jerome is not a bully. You're a fucking moron. Again. Oh, actually, give me a second. I'll actually pull that up. So this is actually kind of funny. If you want to know the situation of this, Jacob tried to, quote, expose Jerome on the comments, which we'll check in a little bit. Yeah, you can ask. I'm not sure who else is left in the chat. You can go ahead and ask. I know Cameron's in there. So Jacob's trying to expose him. And so who's the hypocrite now? You actually committed the Barbra Streisand thing, something he does. He deleted that review of La La Land I showed earlier. And you actually committed the Barbra Streisand effect that you frequently blasted other people for using. This is undeniable proof of it. And it's so pathetic that Jacob has no fucking friends and no one that actually wants to talk to him. He has to rely on this person. If you know what this is a Devin Pelham. Okay, that may not sound familiar, but you know why it doesn't sound familiar? Let me show you guys this. It's because it's a fake profile. Whoa! Oh my god. So the only thing that actually cared about what this dumb fuck actually said is a fake profile trying to get 8 people to look up 18. Those fake Facebook profiles. That's embarrassing. That's unbelievable. Unbelievably embarrassing. So yeah. Look at this, folks. This is his only reaction to his scam post. Is a fraud Facebook account. Oh my god. He does not realize how dumb he actually is. So, let me see if I can find anything else on him. Give me a second here. Okay, let me see if there's anything else here that I could realistically find. Okay, there's a few more things, then we'll get into the YouTube comments, and I think that'll pretty much be the end of it. So, let me go ahead and I'll share the screen. Oh, yeah, now I know. Yeah, one profile is good enough. Yeah. So, he tries to go after Nick Canino here. And it's saying that pretty much everything that Jerome said, I mean, what Jacob said, and Jacob's tried to go after people too, and yet he's saying it's a figure of speech. No one actually means it when they say it. In either case, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. And yet Canino owns him, and he does it. And he says, I can't help who I am. If you guys want to shovel shit at me for everything I say, regardless of my intentions, then that's entirely your problem, not mine. And he owned him. Nick Canino owned him. So I'll give Nick Canino props here. He absolutely owned Jacob Jerkoff. And here's another fucking funny comment. So when I do something like this, and it don't mean it literally, it's a felony, but when of your friends saying he's going to come to my home and beat my ass in front of my parents, everything's A-okay, I generally thought it was no big deal because no one believes it, especially when anyone says it from my experience. And this is something Dick Canino showed us, so thank you for that. He's trying playing the victim game here. And literally, he's a bad job at it. He does a really bad job at it. And I think that pretty much covers everything on my main pictures. So let's go ahead and finish this up here by going to the YouTube video, because the YouTube video, they still have all the comments on there. So I'm just going to go ahead and just delete that for now because I don't need the rest of it. So just give me a second, folks. Just give me a second. Let me just go ahead and send that to there. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the last bit of information. Oh, trust me, you'd rather beat up Sub-Zero. And I always love a good Mortal Kombat reference, man. So let me go ahead and we'll finish things up with going into what he actually said recently. Because recently, he decided to go and comment on the second video, the second part of the stream that I did, the part 2 of the Jacob Jerkoff saga. And give me a second here. Actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and I'll pull this up here. So it makes things a little bit easier to see. All right, so here we go. It will actually let me move. Okay, that is weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, give me a second, because that was... Okay, yeah, let me go ahead and find that again. Give me a second here. Okay, so I think I got it. Just give me a second, because literally this video wasn't doing as big until he decided to show his face around it and decided to give us attention. So he decides to go after my stream, and it went from over almost 355 views to 916. And he decides to comment, so I will show us some of the highlight of the comments. So we'll go ahead and show some of them on here. And in response to what Jacob Jerkoff said about relationships, this is what he said, and Jerome can go ahead and read that, and we'll go ahead and show the replies. John, remember that one comment I showed earlier? John deleted it, and we exposed it for that. So we're going to go ahead and call this as well. And here's what Jacob Jerkoff decides to say. So that's rich coming from someone who said over and over that he despises children with every fiber of his being, and even is proud that of vasectomy, yet also complains about abortion if you're taking a pro-life stance, which Jerome, literally, we proved earlier with John. And says, you claim it's different to hate children and not like abortions. Maybe that's true, but you have no right to say abortion is wrong when you've had a vasectomy yourself and have no regrets over it. Who do you think are preaching about lovemaking after talking about like this is sexual hate-mongering incel you are? That's funny. He loves to talk he thinks he's so highly sophisticated. God damn it. He likes to talk like he's so highly sophisticated, but he's actually not. And here he decides to be the little libtard snowflake he is. You're just preaching to the choir. Barely anyone who follows you doesn't also follow Jerome. Okay. Do you know that I actually pulled in more subscribers from busting the other dumb fuck that was in the video, not just you, from destroying Jizz Nation Sport on not only my channel, but also on A-Bombs? I gained I gained a big following there. And I got over 1,000 subs. So that makes literally no sense. So let's go ahead and continue. And Jerome owns him. Barely anyone also does follow Jerome. You can go ahead and review the reply here. Literally, and yeah, he's talking about I have sports coverage on my channel, something he doesn't do. And yet, that's literally, he's saying all the subscribers I have are also following him. That's not 100% true at all. So yeah, he's a contradicting piece of shit. So let's go ahead and go to his next reply. And he once again tries to think that the other accounts I use are mine, which are not. At least I'm not pathetic enough to make fake accounts on Twitter and Letterboxd specifically for the sake of blasting one person. That's not me. Some troll on Letterboxd should call Jairu. He still thinks that's me. Blasted every single review I made with negative comments that would delete the next day. And then Jerome posted on Facebook the exact same comments in my reviews. And he used that on my Twitter. They have no followers yet, weren't following anyone, and we're gone in a second. That account's still up, by the way, so you're also lying, number one. And it's more obvious, and I can prove because I have a witness on my side that time. Once again, what witness do you have? Your butt buddy? Get out of here. It's more obvious that either one of your goons made the fake accounts just for sake of blasphemy, whether you admit it or not. And he's trying to literally say the same stuff we said over and over again, over and over. Literally, look at this stuff. In case you're wondering, yes, I would also call out close personal friends of mine and even family for that kind of behavior that he has displayed. You've never done that before. But wait, last time in the last part, you decided to go after your own mom. What a fucking scumbag you are, dude. You are a moron. Good Lord. So Jerome pretty much is saying you're giving me more views because you're supporting me and giving me viewership, which you did. Thanks for over 600 views, buddy. I appreciate it. And you should know about trash me because everywhere you go, all over social media. Also, you're cute when you're angry. I love that reply. Yeah, he's finally got a boyfriend. Yeah, it's John Burnson's. Jacob Herschel Voronkoff and John Reinhard Burzins. That's their real names, folks. That's both of their real names if you want to look them up. And literally, Jerome's going to reply. We're going to go ahead and read. You can guys go ahead and read these because it's going to take a little bit while for me to read everything. I don't want to really read everything, but you can go ahead and read everything here, what he said. So yeah, and literally, this is the last part. I'd rather be skinned alive and drenched in boiling oil than support anything you're attached to. And you're doing a good job. Yes, he is. It's just funny because There's still more replies here, so let me go ahead and continue. All these replies, go ahead and read them. So, and Jerome earlier, what Jacob was trying to do, him and Jacob and John were both trying to use the excuse of Jerome going after the Happy Madison fans. Jerome have every right to do that. So, yeah, and this is a man who, and Jacob, you're not asexual when you obsess over a grown man. Actually, there's people like Mr. Enter and other big people in the asexual community. They don't act like you do. So, and Owen Bucker once again owns them. Jacob, grow up and get help. Seriously. If you want, Jacob, I actually know a very good therapist in the Gahana area where you are. I actually know a very good therapist in that area. I would definitely recommend you go see him. And don't worry, folks. I'm not going to give out their personal information. I'm not. I will not do that. I'm not going to give out where they live and everything. I'm not that low. But that's not what I meant to say. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. Not with them. Unless they actually want to try and start anything else. But at this point, I'm making this because I want to end this. Because I don't want to get them more involved on my channel anymore. So, yeah, he's a true film critic who literally thinks that, and Jacob, another fun fact is, which we exposed in the first two parts, he loves to think his opinion's the law, which is not true. You're pathetic, dude. And here's Jerome's reply, and here's his response. You're wrong. I do know what it's like because I've been bullied by you and your sheep fans. Once again, uses that excuse. He loves using that excuse. Who go along with everything you say without understanding my side of the story. It wouldn't even care you outright murder someone who disagrees with you. That's not even close to true, number one. And number two, no one agrees with your opinion because you're an idiot. Fuck off, libtard. And he says, you're pathetic, which is 100% true. And Jerome, this was a problem where he was playing YouTube trying to comment back, but he goes, yeah, right. I do know it's true. To believe it's the right thing to do. Your friend advocates murder against people who like a movie claiming they're terrorists, and somehow I'm the pathetic one. No, you are pathetic, Jacob. Jerome didn't say that. And he actually goes in and pretty much calls out Jacob for everything. Owen Buckner right here. Here's the difference. Jerome was talking about Happy Madison films, which are some of the worst things humanity has ever created. These movies are terrible, obnoxious humor, offensive writing, has insulted human intelligence, stereotypical characters, lack of plot, and logic, and most of their movies are exactly like this. It's fine people like them and do. I'm not one of those people. And if they do, they're not smart people, which is also true. Also, I don't recall Jerome advocating murder. No, he didn't. He actually got pissed at someone who threatened to come on someone else's throat fairly recently. Yes, he did. And once again, Jerome is going to go ahead and do some more replies here. I'm going to go ahead and let you read them. So here you go. I'm going to give you guys a little bit to read that. So, yeah. He definitely needs to see a therapist. And here's another one right here. This is a little bit longer one. I'll let you guys give you guys a little bit of time to read that. All right, here we go. So that's the last bit of it. And here he decides to make this dumbass reply. Watch his Plawart Mall Cop 2 on his review on the channel. That's not even close to true because I actually have that video. And he says he actively said anyone likes the movie is a terrorist who deserves to get dragged out on the street and executed. That's not true. That's not advocating murder. And what I've said about Knock Knock was a joke. Oh, yeah, that was in the first two parts. One of the first two parts. He tried to make fun. He literally tried to do what Jerome did, but it was a joke, apparently. Fuck you. And he's a total hypocrite because he's guilty of the Barbra Streisand. In fact, he frequently blasts others for. He had his comment denying that he said that people who like it should be executed. And I could prove it too. I have screenshots that I posted in my Facebook. Yeah, the only person that actually liked it was one of those fake Tumblr accounts. Who really cares what you say? Dumb fuck. And as many of his friends frequently like their own comments. Something you do like away. And even Jerome said that who's to have an insecure to the spread attention seeking. Kind of like him and his cavalier attitude. Number one, none of this is true because you also like your own comments, and I could prove it too. And you also prove the Star Strikes in fact. Let me actually go ahead and I'll show you guys this because he actually edited his own comments out and deleted it. So let's go ahead and I will find that right now. So give me a second here. It might be under my deleted files. Give me a second here. Here's one of his comments he decided to delete. He goes, Jerome, you're wrong. I do know what it's like because I've been bullied by you and your fans, not friends, fans. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Let me go ahead and see if I can find the other one that he said. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so this was the comment. I'll actually go ahead and show it on my end. Here's the picture. Here's the picture on my phone right there. And okay, it's all right. Oh, right now we're just doing this because we want to talk about Jacob. So this was a comment he deleted. He goes, I can pretty much guarantee that if you sued us when we have undeniable proof and video evidence that your friend thinks that people should execute you just for your opinion, you're pathetic. So you deleted that comment and decided to edit it. And this is literally Jerome going after him, and rightfully so. And you can go ahead and view everything there. Well, I go ahead and just... All right, cool, we won. So there we go. This is go ahead and pop up these replies real quick. So this is where he literally went after everything. And he's a total hypocrite too. Oh yeah, this was the comment that he said I just took it as a joke. I did this as a joke. Here we go. He goes, 1, that was just a joke, and that wasn't even my joke. I took it from Todd in the shadow. What even the fuck is that? I didn't say I hated anyone who liked that movie. And even if I wasn't meant to be taken seriously. Just like what Jerome did, didn't you? You're trying to be a hypocrite. Great to know. And 2, it's not the fact that they show it. It's how they show it that makes the critics like me like that movie. Anyway, give me a second. Oh boy, all this talk is giving me a dry throat. You outright said you advocate murder with the Happy Madison features who said anyone who liked him is a terrorist. And we talked about this before. If that's not advocating murder, I don't know what is. And if I label one person, who all of you want even nothing to do at this point, a Nazi, that was talking about Christian McKnight and Brett, one guy, and that was because he supports a man who has been proven to be guilty of things that are just as horrible than Nazis compared to the BLM movement with the KK, which we'll talk about how, oh yeah, let me just tell you this. These two love to support the BLM movement, who, number one of the top tier members of the BLM movement, one of the co-founders, joined a group that's a pro-Chinese Communist Party, and also one of the founding members who decided to prostitute a 17-year-old minor in Baltimore, posting Craigslist ads like young tight teen ready for your pleasure and the best sex you'll have with the tightest teen possible. That's a great fucking group for you guys. And that's true. You can look it up. Charles Wayne, that's what you can look up too. So go ahead and read the rest of the review. He says, once again, I've been bullied before by you. You belittled me. You've taken every single thing I said out of context. Number that's number one. And you belittle. Now, how is that not being? And you call me a fuckboy, which you deserve. You and John both deserve that comment. How is that not being bullied? You didn't even get a response. Wait, hold on a second, guys. Sorry about that, folks. I had to take care of that. Let's go ahead and finish this up because we're almost done here. So we're going to go ahead and finish this off. You don't even give a response to the accusation. You just call you pathetic, which you are. Just because you're a bully doesn't mean give you the excuse to be a bully back. Jerome was never a bully. And by the way, I'd like to see some proof that you're a bully that badly. For all I know, you could just be playing the victim card yourself as an excuse to justify your actions. And even if I gave you the benefit of the doubt and assumed you were telling the truth, that still doesn't justify what you said about anyone who likes these movies. You can't speak that horribly about all of Adam Sandler's fans for the actions of a few. Kind of like what you do. You love to comment. You and John both on Twitter love to comment on these terrible police officers and all these terrible people and how Trump's terrible. Fuck you. That's like saying the human race as a whole deserves to be go extinct for the horrifying people things like Hitler, Stalin, Bin Laden, Hussein, everyone else did. Anyone else I know would have said the same thing. Number one, that's not true at all. And he goes, replying, oh, and no, you see, there's a difference between a hypocrite and realizing you're right after giving the benefit of the doubt. Every time I thought I was wrong about Jerome, someone else who saw the light, no one did, and saw Jerome for what he was, contacted me and proved me right again. No, once again, that was no one. And it happened to us all. If you want to call me a hypocrite, that's fine. If there's really nothing I could do to change your mind, but at least credit is due and no credit is due. I've been right about things in the past. No, you haven't, especially with Brett and many people's admissions, the guy who gave me no credit for it. And there's also a difference between someone labeling someone over films and labeling someone politics. That stuff happens to me in films that he frequently complains about and completely fictional didn't happen. Yet he likes Pain Again, which is true. So, hey, Pain Again's a great fucking movie, man. I like that movie, too. None of this shit is true. The stuff I complain about politics and the horrible things Donald Trump has said have been confirmed. By what sources, dumb fuck? By Vox and libtard sites, The Atlantic? Fuck you. If someone decided to only think of what's been in their ears instead of the legs, that's literally, yeah, he literally thinks that we think with our penis. It's a fucking retard. He literally looks like a fucking dumb fuck. I swear to God. And Mr. Beanbag, thank you for this comment, Mr. Beanbag. I feel sorry for your mom giving birth to you. Being obsessed with someone is completely unhealthy and unsanitary. Try social distance yourself on the internet. It'll do you good. Yeah, this kid he's a 25-year-old asexual who obsesses over a man 10 years older than him. That's sad. No asexual would obsess over men. Let me tell you that. There are other people that I've seen that are obsessed. It's just disgusting. Like Trigger the Wigger, for example. Real Shit 412 and Jizz Nation Sport. They're obsessed over men. Yeah, you're an idiot, dude. You're obsessed. You don't know what it's like to be bullied. Once again, you're totally playing the victim card, which is something you do. And two, it doesn't matter. You shouldn't tell people you're going to beat them over the head with a baseball bat just for the honest opinion on a piece of celluloid. What even is that fucking joke? You're not funny. You're not endearing. And your reviews or posts aren't even pleasant to listen or look at. You're just a bully who just so happened to be bullied. Jerome loves it. Oh yeah, and you also said that Jerome was the Donald Trump of movie reviewers, which I actually have that picture. Let me show you that to everyone because he actually said that, and this was also in the other parts too. He literally said that Jerome Latimer is the Donald Trump of movie reviewers. Look at that right there. But the thing is, though, Donald Trump is actually liked by many people, and there are a lot of reasons why Trump's liked. And trust me, he'll win again. Trust me. I'm sorry. I'm not taking being a victim of bullying as an excuse for the comments you and other people make for their opinions. And I don't see how anyone else would. And here I am owning him, so there you go. Literally, and that was 6 days ago, almost 770 views. And now it's over 900. How funny is that? Oh, and here he tries to go after me. Dude, dozens and dozens of people who have turned against your cult of a network at this point and want nothing to do with you guys. They're not all lying. Who are you trying to sound like a fucking retard? Our network is striving. We have a good amount of people, and Gary can attest to that, so fuck off. And here Jerome goes exposing him because, yeah, he deleted that comment I showed earlier. But according to you, they're not supposed to be taken seriously at face value. And yeah, where is this we? He tries to go after here. So I never said I wasn't guilty of doing it in any minor case. So you do admit to doing this stuff. You're a moron. Me and several others were just outraged that you edited your comments after realizing that you said that people who like a movie deserve to be executed. That's not even close to true. You've proven yourself to be guilty of doing several things that you repeatedly blasting other people. The we were several people who realize who we are. Like who? You don't even mention any of them. And he tries to do this. And also anyone else read this, keep in mind, it's hypocritical to complain about me criticizing Jerome as often as I do in comparison to how he criticizes so many other people who don't even know he exists, including the Happy Madison fans, who he, again, said they deserve to be executed based on their opinions. Once again, he's literally using the same excuse that he's been using over and over again, and it's sad. And you can just read the rest of it. And Joe, Owen, there you go. Seek therapy. You need help. And here's the last couple of them, which we're almost at the end, folks. We're almost at the end. So here we go. This is Jerome's replies. You can go ahead and read the replies. And then we'll end it off with Dr. Necrophilia. And then I'll go ahead and end things off here in the video. So here we go. It's a long comment. So if you want the video, I can actually go ahead and post the link in the comments as well. So yeah, he literally says it's a cult. So this is my favorite comment. Dr. Necrophilia, one of the best freaking trash, like one of the best people out there, man. So he goes, Jerome the bully. I think bully is thrown on way too easily. I think you haven't misunderstood. We misunderstood each other for the longest time, but we talked it out, and now we are pretty good friends. Maybe if you were mature enough to talk about things too, you can move past this rather than being obsessed with this dude. I think if you can't talk it out like an adult or stops obsessing whatever he does, then you need to seek help because this isn't healthy. Also, comparing vasectomy and abortion is actually asinine and pretty offensive. So yeah, this is what John and Jacob both do. They obsess over grown men. They are pathetic people, and they are both libtards. So let me go ahead and we'll finish this out here. The last thing. So let me go ahead and I'll take that off. Guys, we're pretty much at the end here. What's up, Kevin? Thanks for tuning in the last bit. Well, folks, I'm ending this here with this. Final thoughts. Jacob and John, I will tell you just straight up right now, be prepared for Trump to win in a landslide this year. It's going to happen. I know you two both hate him, and you think he's evil, and you think he's the worst person ever. He's much better person than that fucking goddamn Joe Biden will ever be. Both of you are fucking libtards, and both of you will never be a part of my channel. You will never be mentioned on my channel ever again. And this is the end of it. This is why I wanted to end this on part 3, because the best things are trilogies, and I like to actually put in a little Chisel Adonis reference here to end things off, because let me go ahead and see if I can find the reference. Give me a second here. There you go. Give me 1 second here. So you can find it here. Give me 1 second, folks. Give me 1 second here. Right, there you go. All right, let me go ahead and finish this off, because this is a great Chisel Adonis reference, and I am very, very happy here. And let's go ahead and thank you very much for joining, everyone. Thanks for sticking out with me. I know this was a long one, but I had to go after everything just to end it here. I'm done with both of them at this point, but here we go. Both of you now are... Both of you are absolutely done for. The libtards, dumbasses everywhere. The one that looks like a fat lemur and the one that is obsessed over men. Both of you are absolutely terrible people, and you should never, ever have a following. You will never, ever get a great person. You will never, ever have anything successful in life if you continue to go down this road. And all I got to say to you is, you will never improve because
this kick you make, you go somewhere different for your failures of ever improving as a kid.
as a
Consider your
movie reviewer, as a person.
Because your dreams of not getting roasted by the tickle-a-thon has been
Absolutely dead.
Back to the land of homosexuality.
There we go, folks. That is it. Chisel John said it best. Your names are now in the death note of my channel, just like Real Shit 412, Jizz Nation Sports, Steel 58, Wells 58. All of you are absolutely done, and you are now deleted. Thanks for staying around, guys. See you guys later. Stay awesome. Have a great night. Fuck the both of you, Jacob and John. Be ready for another 4 years of President Donald J. Trump. That's the end of my presidential hate week, because be ready to see red this November 3rd. Good night, everybody.